Hey everyone, and welcome back to Scandalous Media. It's Angela here, and I'm back with an interesting video about Harry and Meghan's embarrassing behavior, not just overall, oh no, but on their Nigeria trip. I have uncovered more videos from their Nigeria trip, and I'm here with a highly requested part 2, but I will also include more embarrassing moments from previous trips that parallel their Nigeria ones. I'm talking about Meghan pretending to be involved in conversations, denying a woman a chance to stand next to Harry yet again, a fugitive sponsoring their trip, the First Lady of Nigeria shading Meghan.
Why did Meghan come here looking for Africa?
Harry being fed up with Meghan, and their trip backfiring completely. Now, as you guys know, I already recapped the entire trip in my 40-minute video on them, but now it's been about a month since their trip, and not only did the First Lady of Nigeria call them out, specifically Meghan, but the trip seems to have backfired, so I don't see Harry and Meghan returning for a long time as they claimed. The trip backfired for a multitude of reasons, which I'll discuss in this video, but make sure to check out part 1 if you haven't already. Be sure to like and subscribe for more Harry and Meghan videos, let me know what you think in the comments below, and follow us on our social media. And before we jump into the embarrassing moments of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle in Nigeria, let's jump into a different mystery. Thank you to June's Journey for sponsoring this video. You guys know we love June's Journey because on this channel we love uncovering hints and clues that lie in the public eye regarding celebrity stories. June's Journey is a hidden object mystery game with a captivating detective story that takes you back to the glamorous 1920s, and each scene takes you further along the story where we follow the main protagonist, June Parker, in a quest to solve the murder of her sister. That's not all though. June's Journey is an interactive game that takes you alongside many different side quests that all tie into the bigger picture of the story, and as you progress in the game, you can join a team to play other side quests with. I'm already on level 95 because it's an entertaining story with a fast progression and the storylines don't drag at all. Every hidden object scene feels like a piece of the story, and it's smoothly incorporated into the game. At every level, you get 2 new hints that give you an inside look at what happened to June's sister and her husband. I love the little details, so I appreciate the animation of the game and how crisp it is. The game also allows you to personalize it to your taste by customizing and remodeling your mansion and garden island. As you can see here, I already have a little pool work going on next to my manor. Another thing I love about playing this game is how each new level unlocks a new and detailed scene that gets you motivated to keep playing, so you guys should definitely try it out and let me know what level you get up to and how you like it. June's Journey is a free mobile game, and you can download it by clicking the link below in the description box or by scanning my QR code right here. This game is available on Android and iOS mobile devices as well as on PC through Facebook Games. And without further ado, let's get back into Meghan Markle's journey to discovering her Nigerian heritage, which led her and Harry to go to Nigeria. Meghan's obsession with dominance. In this one clip from the lunch with the Minister of Defense, Harry helps this woman up the steps because it is the gentlemanly thing to do, and look at that right here, Meghan's claw of control leaning to maneuver him around. You can even see her lean in front of him to see who the heck he dares to help up the stairs. Meghan doesn't acknowledge the woman at all who was moving to stand on the other side. Instead, we see Meghan maneuver Harry and point for him to stand next to her, putting the woman in an awkward situation, leading her to move back and stand at the edge of the platform. The woman even pointed at where she wanted to stand, but Meghan just gave her a careless smile and left her on the edge of the platform to make her dominance clear. And the poor woman is standing literally by the steps on the end of the stage, isolated, while Meghan stands there and gives her "I'm better than you" condescending smile. We have seen this famous claw control Harry multiple times to maneuver him where she needs him like a puppet. Meghan's hand is always on his back, and not in a loving physical touch type of way, but in a movement and direction of control to direct this grown man where she needs him. Even on one of their last royal engagements, Harry was going to talk to someone across the room, and Meghan stood there in her place, pulling him away like a dog on a leash. This is something that happens at any event they attend, whether it's the Invictus Games or as working royals or in Nigeria. This is the norm for Harry and Meghan. We all saw how Meghan was rude to Dr. Sophie at the polo match, despite the fact that she is the chair of the Sentabali, the charity that also hosted Harry and Meghan during that weekend. So not even a high-standing status brought her some grace when sharing the stage with someone like Meghan Markle. There is also this video, which I can't believe is real from how ridiculous it is. Aside from Meghan's VMA club outfit, why is she standing in front of Harry, who tries to move her down but she moves only a centimeter? He visibly looks annoyed too, and the woman next to him is also looking at Meghan with annoyance as she tries to make room for Harry. The entire video is bizarre because she's standing in front of him. She's also acting like a solo artist trying to leave the band. I also think she did this to show off her jewelry instead of having it hidden if her arms are in the back. Nonetheless, it's so weird and off-putting. Here's another moment from the trip where Harry's going to greet some people, and he couldn't have 2 seconds without that claw on his back moving him out of the way for her to assert herself into the conversation. Harry even gives Meghan a nasty look here, as you can see. The man returns his attention back to Harry, and Meghan can't have that as we have her aggressive smile while she scans the room and stands chest puffed out, trying to involve herself to the point where she moves closer to Harry for the man to address her as well. As Harry is talking, she even gives him this empty stare where her smile glitches for a second, and honestly, it's quite creepy. It reminds me of that nasty glare she gave her mom when Doria dared to speak for 2 seconds in front of Meghan. Meghan talking to herself for the cameras. One thing Meghan does often is think about the camera shot. What shot are they gonna take of me? How can I make everything seem so effortless and poetic as I'm a real-life fairy princess? We saw this with her one-stage tear at the Queen's funeral, where you can tell that she's posing for an artistic shot, as opposed to when you actually cry, you don't face the cameras and close your eyes for dramatic effect. Most people face down, not looking up as if they're on a Broadway stage, but you're probably thinking, nah Angela, you're reading too much into it. But am I? In this video here, we see Meghan laughing as she looks around as if Harry said something to her, but watching this video over, you just see Harry wiping his nose with his hand, and the man next to Meghan is not even saying a word to her, and yet she's sitting there cackling to herself. Why? Well, of course, so we can get these photos. There's even this one shot where everyone's looking in a different direction, probably listening to whomever is speaking, but Meghan is giving this crazy face here and clapping for I'm not sure what purpose, besides trying to get the camera's attention. Then there is this video where Meghan is pretending that she's part of Harry's conversation. As you can see, Harry's talking to the man next to him, and Meghan is pretending to talk to him as well, in which she starts again with her fake laughing while Harry has a blank face on. This interaction is legit so awkward to watch, especially this part here, with Meghan's aggressive smile and Harry's confused and uninterested face. The woman behind her even seems amused at the foolishness she's looking at. Another embarrassing moment like this took place at the Invictus Games, where Harry was talking to the man next to him, and Meghan, who was originally singing along to Sweet Caroline, started aggressively smiling and moving her head toward their conversation. Like, Meghan, there is no possible way you were A, involved in the conversation, or B, could even hear the conversation as the man is quite far from her and the crowd plus music is loud. But that doesn't stop her from scanning the room and smiling and laughing despite nothing going on and no one talking to her. At the end, she looks like she's trying to make eye contact with this man right here who's not looking at her at all. And again, there was another event where she spotted the camera twice in 30 seconds and amped up the scene, all for the cameras. And what's up with her constantly scanning the room? It's all so odd and robotish. If I was her publicist, I'd tell her to quit it. This also happened at a different event at the Invictus Games where she was caught on camera looking around for anyone to react to and warrant a response. Her entire behavior is very manic and ADHD-like, where she can't even pretend to focus on what's happening in front of her, but rather looks around for any attention or any photo op. And then she flashes open her blouse right here as she's looking around, then she starts bouncing and looking around again to see if anyone is looking at her, and clearly no one is. And then it looks like she's talking to herself and says, "Stop it." Even when there's a score in the game and everyone starts clapping, she starts clapping but keeps looking around for someone to interact with her. Here's another time where she starts talking to herself, where she makes that fake empathetic smile she does, even though Harry is looking the other way. And she always does this, as you can see in terms of the parallel in their Nigeria trip versus Invictus game versus any other trip they've gone on together since the start of their relationship. If Harry gets in a conversation with someone seated next to him at an event, she pretends she's part of the conversation and talks to herself. It's needy and kind of desperate, especially since Harry never interrupts her in a conversation to steal the shine. Instead, she treats him like a second-class citizen, which brings me to my next point. Other embarrassing snippets. Do you know how embarrassing it is to not work for a certain company or family anymore, and yet your only recognition is by that said company or family? I got secondhand embarrassment when the British national anthem was played for them and they stood up to acknowledge the same very person and same very country they attack in the media every other day. And nothing is funnier than the fact that they neither represent the UK nor the US, and yet they are standing there, big as hell, mad as hell, and awkward as hell. There was another moment where Meghan was presented a gift by a school child, and toward the end of the video, Meghan couldn't hide the fact that she literally couldn't care as her mask slipped and she seemed to eye the gift with disgust. But nothing is more hilarious and actually quite concerning than the fact that a fugitive wanted in the US welcomed Harry and Meghan in Lagos. Yup, Dr. Alan Onyema is wanted for money laundering and bank fraud involving $20 million. He is also the founder and CEO of Air Peace, the Nigerian carrier that Meghan and Harry used on their 3-day tour of the country. Someone had to sponsor them, and I guess the prestigious Harry and Meghan had no one else besides a wanted US fugitive. I'm sorry, but that's scandalous. If you want to be respected or taken seriously in any light, you really shouldn't be canoodling with fugitives. Had this been William and Catherine, Meghan and Harry would have run press articles about how biased the media is for not sending them lashings, but because it's them, they're mute. Kinda like Harry, who was quite the hypocrite because he was at a dinner supporting African parks, yet he stayed silent on the scandal concerning the Baka people and the violence and atrocities they have faced at the hands of the guards hired by African parks. But as I said in part 1 of this video, it's been months since he and Meghan have been urged to speak up, and they have both been mute. It's almost as if they only care if it's good press for them and not an uncomfortable conversation. During their activities at the Light Academy, Meghan and Harry were rambling on with the same 2 sentences they have about mental health. This is your story, and it's okay not to be okay.
Every single one of you has a story.
Because it's okay not to be okay.
Like, wow, how poetic, how life-changing. No one has ever said such important words. Like, come on, every celebrity talks about mental health nowadays. At least educate yourselves to offer more than the same 2 generic sentences that artists have been making songs about. Instead, Harry thought he did something groundbreaking when he asked the students, what are they gonna do if they don't see their friends smiling in class?
If you see your friend in your class not smiling, what are you gonna do?
with that, but
Maybe because they're trying to do their math work? I don't know. He even paused for a short moment as if he's waiting for applause.
What are you gonna do?
While Meghan gave him this creepy smile. And then she thought she could be quirky and be like, har har har, did you see why I married him? He's so smart.
Do you see why I'm married to him? He's so smart.
Then she proceeded to tell a story, which I'm sure is a lie, about how a 2-year-old Lily somehow saw her reflection in Meghan's eyes, yes, in the tiny pupil, which Meghan used as an inspirational arc on the stage.
And interestingly, so our daughter Lily, she's much, much tinier than you guys. She's about to turn 3. And a few weeks ago, she looked at me, and she could just see the reflection in my eyes, and she goes, Mama, I see me in you.
good thing she don't get paid for thinking.
Having 2 unqualified people mumbling a bunch of words together and hoping it's going to sound good doesn't mean it actually will.
Hi.
What happened to public figures actually giving moving speeches that we'll remember and will actually help us? We got Harry saying the bare minimum about mental health. Man, how are you going to preach about something that you can't even get in check? Do you think your brother-in-law or sister-in-law or father are smiling when you are constantly attacking them in the media? He can't even help himself, yet he claims he wants to help others by spewing generic sentences that he doesn't even practice.
Put your hand up if you are unsure of what mental health means. Okay, so you all know what mental health means.
Then you got Meghan telling some story about a 2-year-old making up a deep story. Please, this whole thing is a bore. You can get more helpful advice from a man at a gas station. The First Lady of Nigeria shades Meghan. The cherry on top of this whole trip was the First Lady of Nigeria publicly shading Meghan right after her trip. Nigeria's First Lady Senator Olremi Tinubu, wife of President Bola Tinubu, didn't hold back as she addressed the audience, saying that young people, men and women, should be dressed modestly instead of trying to copy American celebrities, and that Nigerians are beautiful and confident in who they are, not by dressing naked.
The message here is we have to salvage our children. You know, we see the way they dress, they keep forgetting that Nigeria, we are beautiful. The moment you can see what they showcase on the stage, I said we are fashionable, we see what is going on. You know, we are not having a Met Gala, and everyone, their nakedness is just everywhere. And the men are well clothed. Even they are mimicking and emulate film stars from America. They do.
Who is an American celeb who prides herself in being so American that she couldn't even fit in with the Brits? Meghan Markle.
Don't want to wave like an American, like, ah!
And who was just in Nigeria dressed in a backless dress at a school, in a tube top at a professional lunch, and in a beach dress at an event? Also Meghan Markle. After Senator Oluremi Tinubu said all that, she then specifically mentioned Meghan's trip to Nigeria.
The film stars from America. They don't know where they come from. Why did Meghan come here looking for Africa?
So it seems like Meghan was the image she had in her mind when speaking about dressing modestly in Nigeria. Not to mention that both the First Lady and the President did not come to greet Meghan and Harry. If anything, it seems like they are annoyed by their unofficial royal visit. And the fact that Meghan wore a backless dress that she twirled in a school in front of children while the First Lady declared we have to salvage our children is more than enough proof that she was directly mentioning Meghan.
We see the way they dress, so we have to do something. It's not beautiful at all, and they're all beautiful girls.
It all backfired. Not only did Nigeria's First Lady call Meghan out, but Meghan and Harry are back to complaining about the royal family publicly as their Netflix viewership plummets some more. People magazine reports that a source, I wonder who, exclusively revealed that Meghan and Harry have not been inviting to Trooping the Color for the second year in a row.
Oh, okay. I mean, I guess we...
Well, duh, I could have told you that, but somehow Harry and Meghan felt it was necessary to have their publicists complain to the media about them not getting invited. Notice the wording. It's not that they're not going, it's that they're not invited. Well, obviously. And who was the one sharing all the exclusive photos and moments from their Nigeria trip? People magazine. You would think their Nigeria tour was successful and they could make a name for themselves in the alleged work they do, but nope, they still have to tie their name to the royal family somehow, which makes sense when you take into account that their Netflix show is in the nosebleeds of Netflix's global chart. Harry and Meghan, their docuseries, slumped to number 211 on the streaming platform's global chart, which in comparison to another docuseries, Victoria and David Beckham's, actually hit number 1. The Daily Mail writes, "It's enough to spoil the Duchess's latest batch of strawberry jam." So not only are people uninterested in what one would assume is juicy drama, they're being overshadowed yet again by their former friends, the Beckhams. Engagement figures for 2023 reveal that the Beckhams' documentary hit the top spot for global viewing with 43.9 million views between July and December last year. In that same period, Harry and Meghan's limited series Volumes 1 and 2 limped in with just 1.9 million views and 12.6 million total views across the year. When their soap opera first aired in December 2022, it was an instant hit, given Netflix its biggest debut with 81.6 million hours viewed in the first 4 days. But after the initial hype, figures began to plummet as millions of viewers lost interest, and the series lost traction well before the 6th episode aired. Maybe it had to do with the million lies they told, which I covered in depth in my playlist, or the fact that we had 2 privileged millionaires complain, "Woe is me," in this painful documentary about how self-absorbed the two can be. Nowadays, people are calling for Harry and Meghan's Duke and Duchess of Sussex titles to be removed, which would make them become Prince and Princess Henry. This comes after Meghan thanked Yoruba King for welcoming her and Harry to
my country
in a personal letter in which Meghan doesn't reference Harry's name once, and still signs off with the Duchess of Sussex title without making mention of her new honorary Adamazi title. I wonder who leaked this letter where Meghan has her logo with a crown despite not having an HRH title anymore and not having had one since 2020. Maybe it's the same person with a knack for leaking stories? This visit was supposed to be about Invictus, but there wasn't a mention of that in the letter. It's again all about her. And while they were there, they got involved with Princess Anne's patronage, Save the Children. The Princess Royal has been their patron since 1970, and Harry and Meghan getting involved with a charity that clearly has royal patronages while pretending to be working royals on a faux royal tour is a low blow to the royal family and haha, we can do whatever we want and use you however we want and you can't do anything about it. And in that same sentence, they'll complain about being isolated. Funny. They did donate $10,000, so I'll give them that. Honestly, this whole thing is such a joke. The trip backfired, but the only thing we got out of it were these embarrassing moments to laugh at together.
Let's just laugh at him now.
Well, that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments. What other Meghan and Harry videos would you like to see? Do you think their Nigeria trip backfired, or will they really be back as they claim? Be sure to like and subscribe for new videos each week. Follow us on our social media. And once again, thank you June's Journey for sponsoring this video. Make sure to either scan my QR code or click the link in the description box below to check out the game for yourself. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.